Okay, so well, first of all, sorry about the weird, but I'm not sitting at my desk right now, and I did want to do a follow-up review of this guitar that I bought a couple of months ago, and this is the Eastman T486, beautiful guitar. I had initially put up an initial review for it, and I said I would follow it up with a follow up review once I took it out and kind of gave it its legs for a little bit and took it out on some gigs. So just a little bit about the style of music I play. I'm kind of I'm a little bit all over the place stylistically as far as my interests and everything, and I wanted a guitar that could cover all the bases. Of course, everybody knows like the Gibson ES335 is kind of like one of the go-to guitars for that. Larry Carlton did a bunch of recordings with his Gibson ES335 for that reason. He felt it was for the versatility, it couldn't be beat. So I would say the Eastman is kind of in that category of good, solid. I wouldn't call it wouldn't be fair to call it a knockoff because it's just, but it is in that style of semi-hollow electric guitars, humbucker electric guitars. And I agree. I've kind of I'm also a little all over the place. I dabble in jazz, but I gig as I've done for decades. Gig like classic rock, country, some of the modern pop stuff, and been in just a bunch of different. I play all that stuff anyway, and a good chunk of it for money. And I also dabble in jazz. So I wanted a guitar that could do all that. And anyway, to get back to the review of this guitar, so I took this out. Probably like several different gigs from bars to casinos. I played it, and it's like the middle of July here in upstate New York, and it's probably one of the most humid summers that I can remember. And I took this out and kind of gigged those under those circumstances. And where does my opinion of it stand right now and some of the things that I've discovered? Again, great sound, good playability. I came to this guitar from playing my Music Man, my Axis Super Sport. It was my main guitar for years, and I gotta say that's probably the most nicest playing, smoothest playing neck, and it's still I would say it still is. This isn't that guitar, and it isn't kind of like set up the same way. I don't think as that guitar really. It's kind of a it's a neck through. It's not a bolted on neck for one thing. Like so the action is going to be a little bit different, but I find it really playable. I'm not really finding it hamstrung by the setup of it or anything. I use tens. I do have a Mexican Strat that's kind of set up that I think is actually a little. This is more playable, somewhere in between that and my Axis Super Sport. So the neck has been wonderful, easy to bend, right? So in that regard, it's been nice. The sound is fantastic. It will do anything that you want it to do, basically. And if I am not mistaken, we have the Seymour. These are both Seymour Duncans in here. I can tell you for a fact. I think there's a step up from here, and I'm sorry if I can't remember the name of the model, but look it up on the Eastman site. There's a step up from this guitar that actually has Seth Lover pickups in it. This happens to be a Seymour Duncan, and I want to say a 57, and this is a Jazz here in the neck. So the sounds are just incredible. It's everywhere. It's again, compared to my Music Man. My Music Man is a brighter guitar, just kind of what this has a little bit more of a richer kind of tone. I would dare I say more balanced tone, and just sounds super nice. So I have no complaints in that regard, and nor do I have any complaints about the playability of it and the styles that this thing can cover. I would say I'm not on a 335 to compare it to, but I wouldn't jump the fence tomorrow and hope and go out and spend $3,500, $4,000 on a guitar in the hopes that it's that much better. This will do everything that guitar can do, and for half the price. So I will say that for it also. Here's some things about it that I have discovered so far, 2 months in. I don't know what the deal is with this. I've not experienced that on my other guitar, my Axis, but this thing snaps strings pretty regularly. So not a fault in the guitar. Well, kind of maybe, but I think what I would do, and what I'll probably end up doing next, is just finding some graphite nuts down here, because I've not played a gig where this thing has not broken a string. Matter of fact, in the last 5 weeks, I've broken all 5 of them, either practicing or playing a gig, and I replace my strings once a month. So, and these are 10s on here. I don't know I don't know what else to say about that. That has been my experience, not a knock, not a it's a fact. It's a fact. I've broken strings just about every gig that I've played on this thing, and had to kind of pull my Axis out as a result. So there's that. And in all fairness, I going to be comparing the tuning stability to a guitar with locking tuners on it, and the locking tuners on the other guitar are kind of fabulous, and I rarely have a tune. I rarely go out of tune with it. This seems to slip a little bit here on me. I find myself having to tune it up about 4 or 5 times throughout the gig, and in humid conditions, as with any guitar. So it's not a knock against the Eastman, but this thing, you're going to find yourself kind of. I found myself needing to tune up every 2 or 3 songs with it. So that said, under better conditions, it doesn't generally do that. You might need to tweak it a little bit here and there throughout the gig, but I may, just if I really wanted some super stability in the tuning department, I think I would go with better tuners than the one that comes stock with it. It's not it's not horrible, but it's not great. I think I would switch out the tuners. I would switch out this right here, and yeah, that's really my only quibbles here with it. I mean, the neck is just kind of wonderfully set up here just to play. I like the looks of the guitar. Check out the finish on this thing. Right, it's a beautiful guitar. It's a really nice guitar, what would I say? If I'm in no hurry to switch out the pickups on this guitar. If I did, I'd probably get some good Lawlers in it, but that's because it's been recommended to me by friends who are Lawler loyalists. But Lawlers, I think, would sound wonderful in this. But hey, even like Seth lovers, if I wanted to upgrade the pickups, that would be a matter of personal choice. I'm not in a hurry to do it. I could probably play it for years and not even be like, I don't know. But it could be done if you wanted it to be done. I like them. I like them a lot. I've played, and I keep making comparisons to my Music Man, but I've had the Seymour Duncan in my bridge position in my Music Man, only because it shorted out. It was an older guitar, and I've been playing it, very satisfied with Seymour Duncans throughout the years. So that said, good pickups, beautiful guitar. If you're the kind of person that likes to record, one of the things that you get with two volumes and two tone knobs is that you can really kind of vary up. Say you're right here in the middle position, because this is going to give you the bridge right here. I can't remember which, but anyway. When you start combining both the pickups and using both the bridge and the neck pickup, you can do different things with a tone to kind of darken it up or brighten it up a little bit. For example, if You can do stuff with a volume, and really just kind of subtly give it some different kinds of sounds and stuff like that. To me, that's kind of maybe more important in recording, not so much live. I'm just pretty much, I'll go like with a middle pickup and bridge pickup, and I'm that kind of guy live. I don't even use the neck that much, although I always wondered why I didn't. It just never did. But if you like that, and especially if you where it would come in handy for recording, there's a lot of variation in those sounds. There's no coil splitting in it. I don't care. If I wanted a single coil sound, I pick up my Strat. I don't even use a single coil in my, again, Music Man, which does kind of a 5 position sort of thing. But I don't even use that much. Again, only when I'm recording and only for a different kind of sound, and that's where I think this would come in most in handy. And let's see, what else do we want to know about it? Good neck, pretty guitar. There's the headstock, the body, once again, the finish is just gorgeous, beautiful. Go check it out on their website. What you see is what you're going to get. Here's the back, maybe to give you a better idea what the finish might look like on it. And this is like not shined up today or anything, but so there's that. Working my way back down again. I think I may end up replacing the tuners sooner or later with something maybe with a little bit more stability to it, I think. And maybe that's a trade-off, maybe not, but maybe that's one of the things where because this is kind of more of a kind of a mid-level line guitar on compared to the semi-hollows on their part, or actually maybe like kind of 75% up the food chain, I would say. But I think where I would spend a little bit of extra money is on the tuners and graphite saddles, and I'd call it a day. Gosh, I'm a little disappointed, and I don't know what to say about that. And I have this same problem with every guitar that I've had, but the jack is kind of unscrewed a little bit and come a little loose. And it took my other guitar years to do that. It took this about 2 months. I ain't mad at it. I snugged it back down by hand. I'm all good. Don't know what to say about that. I don't know if I'll eventually get a new switch for it or not. But these things are all like, with maybe the exception of their tuners, which, as I said, aren't generally that bad. They're just not as good as like maybe like a locking set or something that might be higher up. They do it, and that would probably actually be, that would be something I would do down the road also. But that's it. I've played it. I play everything from wagon wheel and like kind of classic country even to rock stuff. This can go pretty heavy. As heavy as we go is maybe like a 4-play long time. Or any way you want it, those kind of rock and roll sort of journey sounds. People may not know that that the AC/DC sound, Malcolm was a semi-hollow user. He used Gretches. So, I mean, you can go pretty heavy with these things. I don't know, what's that song by Lit? My Own Worst Enemy, Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, down to Wagon Wheel, down to me sitting around and dabbling with jazz standards like Fly Me to the Moon, Misty, and I've not been disappointed in it in any way. I actually think I'm more my Music Man Super Sport, super versatile guitar, I think, but I think this is more so. I think this kind of gets you more in that territory of those classic sounds. So that is it, my friends. Hopefully, this was helpful to somebody. I would drop the coin on this. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I love this guitar. Super great, super playable, great sound. Just for those little quibbles that I mentioned already that I won't mention again. Okay, yeah, maybe I will mention it again. 2 months in, played it out, played several different kinds of music on it. tuning stability is a little but I have to, going back to say it's been an unusually humid summer here, but that said, I played it out in gigs, and in its worst conditions, I'm finding I'm having to tune it every few minutes. But that kind of is what it is. In ordinary conditions, check in throughout the gig, but it's pretty good. Just not as good as I'd like it to be, because my Music Man does not move for the most part. But it's also got some really good, expensive locking tuners on it. So that, and the saddles, I'm going to put some graphite nuts in here. It's not cool that I'm continually breaking strings on this the way I do. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to post them below. Make your comments. If you're not experiencing these sorts of things on your guitar too, like I had mentioned, then on your Eastman, then by all means, feel free to mention that. Feel free to compare this guitar, if you have an R335 owner, to your Gibson 335 if you happen to own both. I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say about that. I'd also be interested in guys that gig with it and what they think. But my guitar doesn't matter what they think; matters what I think. And I love this thing. I plan on going out and taking it out again. But I am going to replace the saddles up here, and probably eventually the tuners, maybe the jack. And then just a matter of personal preference. I don't feel the need to do it. I may never feel the need to replace these pickups in here. They sound fantastic and a good fit for this guitar. Anyway, comment below, and that's it. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk to you then. All right, Chuck Mott Music here, and I am out. Thank you.